shittiness of crypto is mostly driven, I think, by customer demand. Like people want that casino shit. So people
to do harmful things to themselves, and in doing so create externalities to society. So what do? Do you prevent them from doing the harmful things to themselves by
you would argue
force?
You would argue, if like the example is drugs, you would argue that it's better to make it illegal.
Yeah, I lean that way on drugs these days. I do.
So do I.
Living in a world of like, everything should be legal, man.
Yeah.
Portugal did it.
I used to be that way too.
Yeah,
and now I'm like,
I don't
no,
feel that way anymore.
Don't let them do it. Don't let people do it.
I don't feel that way anymore. And being in crypto, honestly, has been like a thing that has shaped my view on a lot of this stuff.
So you feel the same about shitty meme coining that you do on drugs?
I hate what you guys just said.
You hate
like it? Yeah, my inner libertarian is
okay.
losing his mind.
I'm gonna say one thing. I'll tee it up for you.
Okay.
Crypto has made me less libertarian.
Yeah.
After being involved in it and seeing what happens,
the people are.
I'm still like
Jamie.
Pretty, I still like lean that way, but I am definitely like less like crypto did not make me more libertarian, right? And I'll give the mic to you.
I don't think it's for other people to decide what's good or bad.
Really, like in all circumstances.
Really.
Okay, what are the limitations of this though?
I'm not speaking like from an economic capitalism versus like free market perspective. I'm just speaking about like liberties, individuals' liberties. I think that they should be free to put what they want in their bodies and do what they want, dress how they want. I think the world is better when there's no external force trying to control what people do, because it's a very slippery slope.
What if what you put in your body turns you into a mindless zombie and you start like robbing people, other people, you start like...
Put them in jail. You broke the law.
What if the thing you're consuming makes you so insane that you'll go on like a murderous rampage like the second you consume it?
Well, again, put them in jail. Like that's illegal. You're jumping from like civil liberties of like what I'm allowed. Hold on, this is a huge like woo.
Yeah. No,
you just went woo. Like I'm talking about letting people put what they want in your body. You're talking about the second and third order effects of what the person puts in their body. Completely different. Just like you were saying before, we have to separate these things. Completely different. That's a completely different argument of like, what do you do with anybody who does anything illegal?
I get what you're saying. The illegal action is the killing somebody. It's not the putting a drug in your body.
Yeah, they're completely separate. What the cause is.
Okay.
People kill people without drugs in their bodies. I feel like they should be treated for the crime.
I feel like I'm taking crazy pills.
And people also do drugs without killing people.
That's exactly right.
I'm going to make up a completely made up scenario just for the purposes of illustrating a point. Imagine
you just did one.
And it's going to be similar to what I just said.
Okay.
Imagine there is a drug freely available on the market. When you consume it, anybody who consumes it within 5 minutes goes on a murderous rampage, and they like have like a 5% chance of like killing somebody they encounter.
But we don't have that, and maybe that should be a Schedule 1 drug. We don't have that. What we call a Schedule 1 drug right now is fucking acid.
So like, you
that's
do
a completely
agree.
Different thing. Acid can make you meet God.
Wait, so
and
I met him.
Like,
wait. No, but I just want to clarify.
I totally have.
Me too, by the way.
You do
He's a good guy.
You do agree that there is a line where you could do something that can cause harm to others. Ergo, like you don't have just freedom to do anything. Like you agree with the concept of like,
I didn't
externalities.
Say I'm a
right?
100 out of 100 on this libertarian scale. I said I lean toward letting people determine what is best for them.
Sure, you
and
can
to be
lean
responsible
that way.
for their vessels. And I'm saying in this situation, I tend to lean on like drugs, alcohol, whatever you want. I don't think prohibition was a good thing. So
you think Trank should be legal?
I don't know Trank.
Trank is the drug that everybody's doing in Philadelphia. It's like legit turning people into zombies. Their skin's falling off.
I mean, there's also deeper layers to this. There's classism. There's like, are these drugs available to poor people? And it's like, does it keep them there?
You're dancing around the question though. Like, would you like ban that drug?
No.
Oh
No.
God! Like I just.
What do you mean ban? What is the purpose of banning something? If someone's addicted to it, they're going to do it anyway.
No, that is not true. When
Yes, of
things are
course it
legal,
is.
people do more of it.
Yeah. Like it's
Nah.
if
This
it's like
this is like one of these like old
No,
libertarian
I didn't say-
arguments
we're
I
not
used
arguing,
to believe.
We're not arguing if they're doing more or less. I said they'll do it anyway. Those that want to do it will
No,
do
no,
it.
You
No.
have to view policy at a societal level. What is the society-wide outcome of stuff that happens, right?
Mhm.
Because like there would be no deaths on the highway if the federal speed limit on highways was 15 miles an hour. But it would like destroy society. Like so you make certain compromises in the name of like making society as a whole like functional,
Yeah.
right?
This is too broad. We can't talk about speed limits and trank and all
It's
these
not
things.
broad.
No,
It's the same
I
exact
get what
concept.
Steven's saying, because what Steven's suggesting is that you should look at what makes society better or worse with any policy decision. And I think what Steven's saying, I actually agree with. It's like drugs, particularly like harsh, terrible drugs, make society worse at large. So it's better to like restrict the use of it. Like I get your point too. The people that like find the ways around the laws and stuff will find a use for it. But like it's different from like me in middle school. I can't just like go to
Look,
7-Eleven and buy like
Let me argue.
fentanyl.
Let me argue for you. Do I think a society to live in, like Singapore, is better to live in? 100%. Is that the one that I want to live in? No, not necessarily. Do you feel safer in a place like Singapore? Absolutely. Are people more civilized? Absolutely. Are drugs illegal? Very much so. Are a lot of things illegal? Very much so. You're living under a very authoritarian system where there's high, system-oriented approach to like what is right and wrong. But in a society that's more libertarian, you have more chaos, but you also have more free will. And I just generally am the type of person that doesn't want to be told what to do, even if I don't ever do it. I don't even do drugs. I've never done any of those drugs.
Right.
But like I just like the idea of a society being civilized enough to be able to determine for itself what is good or bad. I'm also arguing for something deeper here. I believe that human beings are evolving to a place in from an evolutionary scale that they have the capability to be educated enough now to know what is right and wrong for themselves. I'm ready for humanity to reach that level where you don't need some regime to prevent you from doing something for your own self that's going to affect other people. So I'd like to live in a society like Singapore with
Without
the
the
openness
laws.
of America.
Yeah.
That's my dream. MLK,
Yeah.
you know?
That was a very like leftist vision of the world.
I thought it was
want utopia.
No, that wasn't utopia.
Yes, it was. You're
How
like,
is
I
that
want
utopia?
these. You're like, I want the good thing, and I just want the bad thing to not exist.
It kind of
was not-
reminded me.
that
I
was
want
not
the
the
reality
definition-
of human
That was
nature to
not
not
the
be there.
definite. No,
It reminded me of the fiscally conservative,
that
socially
was very
liberal
unfair.
trope.
that was very unfair. Sorry, but that no, you can't do that. That is not what I did,
Hit me.
and that is not. No, we're gonna get lost in this. We're already lost in this.
I thought it was
I
a good,
think it's an interesting combo.
it was a good rebuttal. I liked your rebuttal, and I kind of agree with both of you guys.
Utopia is literally there is no counterbalance. There is no bad. There is nothing that occurs that its humanity is just constantly not just progressing, but in a state of absolute harmony and positivity. That's not a utopia. I believe in something more like what Kevin Kelly talks about, which is protopia, which is the idea of progress. There is a counterbalance of negativity and crime and things continue, but there is this continued progress, not this fourth turning cycle that we keep going through. It's where you can continuously see, even if it does loop back sometimes, you can continuously see. And so what does that mean? It means society over time should become more open and more available for the individual to self-direct the life of their choosing. We also need government, though. We need government. We need some representation. We need some people that are capable to make decisions for us. And so that's why I've often said, I don't think everyone should even be able to vote. I think that this is one of the greatest responsibilities of all. The right to determine how society functions? Are you kidding me?
It's
Really hot take.
How is it consistent intellectually to think that everybody shouldn't vote, but also you should be able to do any fucking drug you want in society, no matter
Because I don't
how
think that
harmful the
voting is a
effects?
right.
Why is it your right to do like incredibly harmful drugs that may impact all the neighbors around you?
Again, that's the outcome is your action.
Do you think
That's
I have
what
a
you
right?
did.
Do you think I have a right to shit
I don't care
on the
what you do
sidewalk?
to yourself. I don't care what gender somebody wants to be, right? But
Answer
if they
the
do
question,
something,
Armand.
what is your question?
Can I shit on the sidewalk?
No.
No,
Not
of
if that's
course
a law.
not.
Not if that's a law that you can't shit.
Right.
Guess what? Some countries you can shit wherever you want.
Right. I can't shit
No
on the
one does.
sidewalk, and you can't do drugs that turn you into a zombie and make you want to kill me.
That you're twisting. You're not twisting. You're confusing, conflating what I am doing, which is taking the drug, and then what I'm doing as a result of taking the drug. You just need to separate those two things.
But doesn't the enforcement
they're not-
isn't the
they can't be
enforcement of the
separated.
second order, like, that becomes too big of a burden? Like, we can't even enforce just like normal crime, and now we have to enforce like all this, like people doing drugs and their second order possibilities. Like, if you just eliminate it,
Yo, we can enforce crime. We just like choose not to. This isn't like a logistics problem. It's just like a will problem, right?
Yeah.
This idea that we can't enforce law. No, that's just a problem of will.
I will say I'm not like a die on the hill for the drugs thing. I'm just generally a libertarian leaning person. So depending on the topic, depending on the idea, I will typically lean that way. And I only say this because I took all these like political compass type tests and I keep landing there. So that apparently is what I am. But the drugs thing is messy. It's clearly very messy.
right? And it's weird that you, like, for the pooping, you'd be like, well, it shouldn't be allowed if it's against the law. Taking drugs are against the law. Like, taking narcotics are against the law,
Sure.
but you're for it.
No, not if they're against the law.
Well, all the drugs you're talking about are
like
against the
it'd
law.
be like
that's like
saying-
circular reasoning.
No,
should it be against the law?
No, it's more like I'm saying pooping on the sidewalk should be legal. That's basically what
That's
I'm
what you're saying.
Yeah.
I don't want to live in that world.
Okay.
I don't want to live in that world.
You know,
Like, you want to start Armanistan where everybody shits on the
that's
sidewalk?
a good name for a country.
Like,
That's a good name.
I mean,